But that could also be Kevin Newman after his notable 2019 rookie campaign. However, that still leaves in question Ji-Hwan Bae. But for now, I think Liover Peguero is a safe bet to eventually be a starting cog for the team sometime in 2023. Peguero was the centerpiece in the Starling Marte trade and currently ranks as the 103rd best prospect by Fangraphs and the team's 6th best prospect. He'll likely be a top 90 prospect by the end of the season once prospects like Luis Robert, Jesus Luzardo, Nate Pearson, Sean Murphy, and a handful of other prospects graduate prospect status. Peguero did really well for himself with the Arizona Diamondbacks rookie ball affiliate. Through 156 plate appearances, Peguero was hitting for a .364 average, a .410 slugging, and a .410 on base, and a .559 slugging, with 5 home runs and 7 doubles and 3 triples. While his walk rate was just 7.7% and strikeout rate 21.3% weren't necessarily fantastic, remember, he was still just 18 and posted a 153 WRC+. When the D-backs moved him to low A ball, Peguero only hit for a .262 average, a .333 on base, and a .357 slugging, with 4 doubles, 2 triples, and no home runs. However, he did see improvements to his plate discipline as his strikeout rate fell to 18.3% and walk rate jumped to 8.6%. Remember though, his low A numbers came in just 93 plate appearances. Still, Peguero has a 60 future hit grade, but power tools identical to Hayes, a 40 future game power and 50 future raw power grade. He still has a 90 average exit velocity, so he'll be able to drive the gap with some authority. He's also a plus runner with a 60 current, 55 future speed grade. Fielding wise, he grades as an above average shortstop, ranking with future 55 grades for his arm and fielding skill. While he isn't a top 100 prospect, that could change very soon as he still ranks just outside the top 100 at 103 at the major league level. So he'll probably be in the top 95 by the end of the year. Some other options I have for shortstop are Ji-Hwan Bae, Kevin Newman, and Cole Tucker. Our next guy we're going to take a look at is in left field. That's left fielder Bryan Reynolds, 2023 opening day age of 28. Bryan Reynolds entered 2019 as a pretty unnotable prospect. He didn't rank in the top 100 and entered the 2019 season as the team's 9th best prospect when they had a pretty average farm system. However, after injuries to Corey Dickerson and Gregory Polanco, Reynolds got a shot for regular playing time and ran away with it. Through the first 546 plate appearances of his career, the switch hitter had a .314 average, .377 slugging, 377 on base, and a .503 slugging, and hit 16 home runs. More notably, he hit 37 doubles. Among rookies with at least 300 plate appearances, Reynolds ranked 5th in WRC Plus at 131, WOBA at 371, and OPS. While some may worry that his .387 batting average on balls in play made him a bit lucky, you shouldn't expect much regression. Not only can he hit to all fields, but he also had a .378 career minor league BABIP, but yet still hit for a .312 average, a .373 on base, and a .472 slugging. Defensively, he's nothing to write home about as he had a +5 DRS and 0 range runs above average, but negative 3.5 arm runs above average and negative 3.5 UZR. While he posted his best defensive numbers in right field, +3 DRS, 0 arm runs, 0.5 range runs, and 0.6 UZR. His best long-term position is left field considering his weaker arm that only has a 40 current and future fielding grade. Alright, time for center field. Travis Swaggerty, 2023 opening day age 25. The Pirates' first-round selection in 2018 has shown he can be a future Gold Glove candidate and be productive with the bat at the same time. Travis Swaggerty has a future 60 fielding grade and future 60 throw grade by Fangraphs. This makes him the second best fielder in the Pirates system and is a top 10 defensive outfield prospect in all of baseball. Not only can he field and he has a strong arm, he can also cover a lot of ground. Swaggerty stole 23 bases and has a 65 current and future speed grade, which helps him track down balls in center while also rounding the bases at a good rate. Batting-wise, there's still some questions. Swaggerty did really well in his first 158 professional plate appearances, hitting for a 288 average, a 365 on base, and a 453 slugging, with a 140 WRC+. He finished out the 2018 season at A-ball, hitting for a 129 average, a 225 on base, and a 226 slugging through just 71 plate appearances. Last year, Swaggerty got off to an awful start at high A, batting for a 221 average, a 318 on base, and a 329 slugging before the All-Star break, but then went on a tear and hit for a 306 average, a 375 on base, and a 430 slugging throughout the rest of the season. Despite the slow start, Swaggerty still had a really solid 120 WRC+, 10.9% walk rate, and 341 WOBA. Swaggerty has a future 50 hit tool and future 50 game power tool. However, he has potential for more with a 60 raw power grade, both current and future. Currently, he ranks as the 63rd best prospect in baseball according to Fangraphs. A good comp could be Jason Hayward. From 2011 to 2014, when he hit for a 262 average, a 351 on base, and a 429 slugging with a 114 OPS+. That's really good production considering that both are elite defenders. Another possible option is Jared Oliva. Our right fielder is O'Neal Cruz, opening day age 23. The Pittsburgh Pirates acquired O'Neal Cruz in the trade that sent Tony Watson to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and it was one of the last really good trades former general manager Neil Huntington made during his Pirates tenure. Currently, Cruz is the Pirates' best shortstop prospect and the 5th best shortstop prospect in all of baseball. But with Peguero, Newman, Tucker, and Bay with Gonzalez, who both have experience at shorts, all potential long-term options at short, Cruz is going to have to find a new defensive home. That new home is likely going to be right field. Cruz has an outstanding arm that would fit in right field. Originally a third base prospect with LA, Cruz has always been praised for the power that he can generate. His arm has a current and future grade of 80, which is the best possible grade on the 20 to 80 scale all prospect grades are based on. Power-wise, his 6'7", 210-foot frame gives him a lot of leverage. Cruz has a 60 future game power grade, but an extremely impressive 80 future raw power grade. He's put his power on display through the minors. In 2018, Cruz hit for a 288 average, a 343 on base, and a 488 slugging with a 134 WRC+, through 443 plate appearances at the low A level. Cruz crushed 14 long balls and a 201 isolated slugging percentage. Last year, Cruz was demolishing the ball at high A, hitting for a 301 average, a 345 on base, and a 515 slugging with a 154 WRC+ through 145 plate appearances. Not only did Cruz get his slugging percentage above 500, but his ISO of 213 was the highest of his career. While Cruz didn't hit for much power when he was moved to Double-A, he was coming off a wrist injury when he was promoted, but showed a good amount of improvement with plate discipline. After walking just 5.5% of the time before his promotion, he was drawing a walk 11% of the time during his short Altoona stint. Currently, he ranks as the 32nd best prospect in baseball and still climbing the list. Currently, Cruz is an average to below average shortstop, but shortstops are usually the most athletic players on the field. He would probably be a pretty solid defensive right fielder. Plus, he isn't slow either. He has stolen 41 bases through his 336-game minor league career. In our designated hitter, we've got Jack Herman, 2023 opening day age 23. Right now, there isn't a guarantee that the designated hitter will be in the National League, but considering that the MLB is already trying it out in 2020 and was going to have it in 2021 if they played more than 60 games, it seems like an inevitability that the universal DH will be implemented sooner rather than later. So the Pittsburgh Pirates will have to decide on a DH of the future. Jack Herman is another notable outfield prospect who has some pop. Last year at low A, the slugger hit 13 home runs in 300 plate appearances and had a .464 slugging percentage. Both his raw power and game power have a future of 55. He also put up a strong .208 isolated slugging percentage. All told, he had a .257 average, a .340 on base, and a .464 slugging, and a .134 WRC+. Herman has 55 future grades for his raw and game power, but only a 40 future hit total. Still seen as he draws a decent amount of walks, Herman will get on base a decent amount. Herman only grades out as an average fielder with a 50 future fielding grade. He also isn't super fast with a 40 speed grade. However, what he lacks in overall range, he makes up for with an extremely strong arm. Herman had a 60 current future arm grade. Herman threw out 11 runners in just 612 innings in 19. With the lack of range, and if his fielding doesn't improve while his hitting does get better, Herman could be the team's next DH. That is, if there is one. Even if there isn't a DH by then, Herman could also be another option for right field. Another possible option is Alexander Mojica. Through the first 15 games of the 2020 season, few players have been a bigger pleasant surprise than infielder Eric Gonzalez. When former general manager Neil Huntington traded for Eric Gonzalez in November 2018, he said that his scouts were pounding the table for the Pittsburgh Pirates to acquire Gonzalez. After struggling an injury-shortened 2019 season, Pirate fans are now seeing why the team's former GM scouts were so high on Gonzalez. Following a 4-hit performance in Friday night's loss, Gonzalez is now hitting for a .357 average, a .357 on base, and a .571 slugging this season with a .158 WRC+. While he has yet to walk, his 10.7% strikeout rate is strong. There is also reason to believe Gonzalez's success is no fluke. In his career, Gonzalez has always hit the ball hard. In 2017, 88.4 miles per hour. 2018, 88.9 miles per hour. In 2019, 87.4 miles per hour. His exit velocity was either at or above league average. He also had an above league average hard contact rate in 2017 at 41.3% and 2018 at 43%. So, hitting the ball hard has never been an issue for Gonzalez. What has plagued the infielder in the past was hitting too many ground balls. His ground ball rate has been at least 55.4% each of the last 3 seasons. That is simply too high. In 2020, however, he has improved his ground ball rate. Thus far this season, Gonzalez has put the ball on the ground just 40% of the time. To go with an improved ground ball rate, Gonzalez has continued to hit the ball hard this season. That is a recipe for success. Entering play on Friday, Gonzalez owned a 93 mile per hour exit velocity and 60% hard contact rate for the season. In Friday night's loss, Gonzalez hit 2 balls with an exit velocity over 100 miles per hour. This included his first home run of the season. If Gonzalez can keep this up, he might be the biggest breakout player of 2020 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Due to being a plus defender at both third base and shortstop, all Gonzalez needs to be a quality MLB player is average offense, especially at the shortstop position. If he can continue to hit the ball with the authority he has thus far this season, Gonzalez could once again become the starting shortstop for the Pirates, as he was once viewed. On Friday night, the Pittsburgh Pirates welcomed the Detroit Tigers to PNC Park for the first game of a 3-game weekend interleague series. The Pittsburgh Pirates continue to suffer from a struggling bullpen. This was the case once again on Friday night, as the bullpen was the reason the team lost a wild 17-13 extra innings affair against the Detroit Tigers. Following the loss, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now just 3-12 on the season. This includes the team having lost 9 of their last 10 games. Quietly, Eric Gonzalez is off to a strong start this season, entering Friday night's game with a 93 mile per hour exit velocity and 60% hard contact rate on the season. Friday night, he continued to ambush baseballs. Gonzalez